Hey, what is happening, Windy Wailord? We just had a bunch of card reveals for Japan's newest sets, Snow Hazard and Clay Burst, that will be releasing on April 14th in Japan. And one of them I am beyond excited for. A bunch of cool new cards. Let's jump right into them, and I'll go ahead and I'll give you my thoughts. First, we have ChiUeX, 190 HP, basic Pokemon EX here for a Fire Energy, just Burning Envy. Discard 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck. So maybe we got a mill deck coming up here with this. I don't know, only 190 HP, giving up 2 prize cards. That doesn't sound like it could quite last long enough to mill your opponent. So really interesting attack here with the Burning Envy. And then for 2 Fire Energy, it's got that Flame Surge, 100 damage. Choose up to 3 of your benched Pokemon. Search your deck for a basic Fire Energy and attach 1 to each of those Pokemon. So pretty powerful acceleration attack here. 2 Fire Energy. Won't be able to pull it off on the first turn of the game most likely, but could be a cool follow-up attack to set up all your following attackers. Like I said, that first attack, interesting. I don't know how often you're going to be able to actually deck out an opponent with this. I don't think a deck will be built around the deck out attack, but it could be a cool way to close out some games if this becomes a good, viable acceleration Pokemon for early game fire decks or early game 4 fire decks. Up next, we got the Baxcalibur, 160 HP, stage 2 Pokemon. So if it is a stage 2, it's going to be a little bit slower, but it's got a very powerful ability in the Absolute Zero. As often as you like during your turn, you may attach a basic Water Energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. That is a super powerful ability right there. We've seen it before. Basically unrestricted water, basic water energy acceleration. As long as you got the water energy in the hand, you'll be able to put it into play. We are getting superior energy retrieval reprinted in the set previous to these, so that will probably combo pretty well with this. And another card that's probably going to combo pretty well with this is the Qingpao EX, 220 HP. Ability, Trembling Cold. Once in your turn, if this Pokemon is in your active spot, you may search your deck for up to 2 basic water energy, reveal them, and put them into your hand. You can do this for each of these EXs you have in place. You could have one in the active, and then you use its ability, get 2 water out of your deck, then you retreat it to the other one, get 2 more water out of your deck, and then you can put them all in play with the Baxcalibur during that turn. And it's got the attack Hail Blizzard, 60 damage, discard any amount of water energy from your Pokemon. This attack does 60 damage for each card discarded in this way. So looks like this could be pretty strong, especially if it's a bunch of big Pokemon in the format, big EX Pokemon with a lot of HP. This could theoretically just KO anything it wants to. Like I said, you could have multiple of these set up. You could send one to the active. After your opponent takes a knockout, you use the ability. You switch into another one that's 4 water energy in the hand. From both those abilities, you're doing 240 damage with that. Maybe you get a superior energy retrieval involved. I don't know. This seems like a pretty powerful combo here with the Baxcalibur and the Qingpao EX. So I'm excited to try that one out for sure. Definitely seems like a strong combo. Up next, we have got the I'm not going to try. Stage 2, 180 HP, Blessed Salt during Pokemon Checkup. That's in between turns. Heal 20 damage from each of your Pokemon. 100 HP, so pretty tanky. It is a Stage 2 Pokemon, unfortunately. And then for 2 Fighting Energy, 130, discard a card from the top of your opponent's deck. So not a very powerful attack, but a fairly powerful ability. Could definitely combo with some kind of tank deck. Perhaps I would be really excited if this card was actually good. I'm not sold on healing tank type decks, are very far and few between, so I'm hoping this pans out, but we'll have to wait and see on this one. I'm excited for it to potentially work out. The ability of being on a stage 2, of course, is pretty limiting. Up next, we got the Tinglu EX, 240 HP. Once again, a basic EX here. It's got that Cursed Guard ability, so it seems like it might be a pretty powerful ability. If this is your active Pokemon, your opponent's Pokemon with damage counters on them have no abilities, excluding Pokemon EX, but this could still be a pretty limiting ability to quite a few Pokemon. Stuff like, I don't know, Curlia, I'm trying to think about stuff, Comfeys, Greninja, so only excluding Pokemon EX. So I feel like there could be some possibility for this to be pretty good. And then it's got the Land Scoop attack for fighting. Put 2 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon. So you're setting up that ability lock through the Cursed Ground. So this could be an interesting one. Ability lock, we haven't seen it too much recently. We do have the Klefki coming out in Scarlet and Violet. Now we're seeing a little bit more ability locking here with the Tinglu EX. We also have the Halucha coming out in, what is it, the set previous to this one that puts 2 damage counters on 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon, so you could be a little bit more aggressive before you even get the attack off. If you just have one of these in the active, set up some damage counters on some of your opponent's bench Pokemon, trap them from being able to use their abilities. Definitely seems like it could have some viability, maybe in some kind of like fighting box type deck, maybe just by itself, I don't know. But definitely powerful ability. But the rest of the card, only 240 HP. When you compare that to some of the stage 2 EXs, it's not quite there. And only 150 damage for fighting. That seems like a tough attack to set up as well. And has 4 retreat cost. I mean, that might not hurt too much, but that's a lot of retreat cost. That's just like a lot. Moving along, we got the Squawkabilly EX, 160 HP. Once again, basic Pokemon is going to be like a support type basic Pokemon here. Lively draw ability. On your first turn of the game, you may discard your hand and draw 6 cards. Only on the first turn of the game. You can't use more than 1 lively draw ability during your turn. So Dedenne GX coming back, but way more limited than Dedenne GX was. Can only use one. Well, you can only use one Dedenne, but you can only use it once, and that'll be on the first turn of the game. But it does also have a pretty powerful attack for helping you set up, so I could definitely see this card being pretty powerful overall. The Energy Flow, 20 damage, attached to 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. So pretty powerful energy acceleration attack to go alongside a pretty powerful draw ability that also discards cards, possibly basic energy, to help set up for your attack. Another thing about this ability is it doesn't have to be from when you play it from your hand onto your bench. So you could like bench this Squawkabilly and then play Research and then use the lively draw from the Squawkabilly and draw, discard the hand and draw 6 new cards. So pretty powerful ability, setup ability. I think so. Definitely be a card that is played for sure, especially when it has an attack like the Energy Flow. So it's not just kind of a dead card on your bench waiting to be KO'd for 2 prize cards. It can actually be used, especially on that first turn. 20 damage, probably not going to be super relevant, but accelerating an extra basic energy into play could be pretty relevant. So I like this card. I like how they limited the ability on it as well, not trying to get it too out of hand like a Dedenne GX or anything like that. I like the Squawkabilly EX. I think it's a well-rounded support Pokemon right here. Big fan. Super Rod is making a comeback. I'm not too surprised. We've had Night Maintenance, Super Rod. I think there's been some other ones that have been named similarly, but Super Rod seems to be the name we're going with for the shuffle 3 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy from your discard pile back into your deck. I can't say I'm not too surprised to see an aggressive Pokemon recovery card coming back. I was actually talking on my stream the other day. We see the Miriam, and we have like the Clara in format as soon as Scarlet and Violet hits. And I was like, maybe we're going to go down a route of supporter-only Pokemon recovery, which I wouldn't hate, to be honest. I wouldn't hate supporter-only Pokemon recovery, because I think it would add like a different element to the game where you have to like sacrifice not playing a draw supporter for a turn or a gust effect and like boss to actually recover your Pokemon and kind of reestablish your board, as opposed to just like kind of racing for prize cards aggressively every single turn. But we do see the reprint of the Super Rod, so that's not really going to be a thing for very long once this drops. I mean, it'll be a thing for a little while with Scarlet and Violet, but once this set drops, we'll have Super Rod, and yeah, we'll see where it goes. Charm of Courage, the basic Pokemon this card is attached to, gets plus 50 HP. So effectively, it's just Cape of Toughness. I think exactly Cape of Toughness, plus 50 HP. I guess they really liked Cape of Toughness and thought it was a cool balanced card. I was a fan of Cape of Toughness. I thought it offered some really cool options for those basic Pokemon. So I am not at all disappointed to see Charm of Courage. And it gives more viability to some of these basic EX Pokemon we're seeing come out of this set, like the Tinglu or the Water one, whatever it's called. Chien Pao. So that gives a lot more viability to them potentially. Play 4 of those, put 4 of Charm of Courage in your deck, and maybe you're cooking. That 50 HP is a lot. That gets them close to like, almost 300 HP. That's a lot harder to take down than those, 220s, 240s. So Charm of Courage might be what these basic EXs need to survive and thrive. Grusha, draw cards until you have 5 in your hand. If you have no energy cards attached to any of your Pokemon, drop to 7 cards instead. Ooh, interesting supporter here. Could definitely combo with some no energy or 1 energy attachment per turn type decks. Thinking of stuff like Mad Party and stuff like that. Obviously, Mad Party is not going to be a deck after rotation, but decks like Mad Party where, all of your Pokemon attacks take 1 energy card, and you don't have to attach until after you've played your draw supporter. So this would be an interesting card. I think this actually could be pretty good. I'm excited to see how this one plays out once we get it, and then even after that with what other cards kind of come out. Because even if you could even combo this with the scrolling up real fast, you could combo this with the Chien Pao EX. You attack, you remove all your energy from play, and then you use the supporter, the Grusha, draw up to 7. That's pretty good. And then you can get a bunch of energy in play through superior energy retrieval or the ability on the Chien Pao, and then accelerate all your energy into play with the Baxcalibur, and then you have energy in play now, but you also got to draw up till 7. That's like pretty good combo right there. I like this supporter. I like this supporter a lot. I think it will be pretty solid overall. And then the card I've been waiting for. I don't want to say a lot of people didn't like N. I wasn't a huge fan of Marnie. A lot of people also weren't a huge fan of Marnie. But Iono. Each player shuffles their hand and puts it on the bottom of their deck. Then each player draws a card for each of their remaining prize cards. So much more similar, I would say, to N than Marnie, because the impact of the disruption is more important than the impact of putting the cards on the bottom of the deck. But I am so excited to have a consistent, hard disruption supporter back in the format. We're a little ways away from getting this in America, or the rest of the world besides Japan is what I should say. Because Japan are the only players who are getting this anytime soon. I don't even know when we're going to get this in the rest of the world, like June or something. I don't know, but I'm super excited for a supporter like this to be back in the game. Some of my favorite formats and some of the best formats of all time have had stuff like N or Team Rocket's admin. Marnie's not a good example. Formats with just Judge or Let Loose also aren't great, but when you have a supporter like this, the formats have always felt pretty good, so I'm expecting it to feel similar. A lot of these cards seem really cool and impactful, especially this one, and I don't know what else to say. I'm just super excited for this card specifically, but a lot of the other cards in here seem like they're going to be really good and really impactful as well. Super Rod, the Charm of Courage, Grusha, and then a lot of the EXs also seem like they're pretty high power level cards, but not broken, which is the important thing. And this looks like a game-changing set for sure. I can't wait for our version of Snow Hazard and Clay Burst to come out. I'm excited. I hope you guys are just as excited. Do you think I missed? Should I have talked about some of these other cards? Do you think I missed any that I should have talked about? I think I got all the important ones. What are you most excited for out of the set? Let me know in the comment section down below. How could it not be however you pronounce the name of this card? Catch y'all in the next video.